Get ready, billionaire Tudor Jones is back and he's bullish on Bitcoin as an inflation hedge. We've seen this story before back in 2020. I'll play the clip for you. And Politico is reporting that this upcoming change in Congress will be the most pro-crypto Congress ever, as the SEC makes crypto an examination priority for 2025. And there's a massive fund, $1 billion being tokenized on the XRP Ledger. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as a thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Folks, we got to start with billionaire Tudor Jones. He's back, and he went on CNBC this morning, and he talked about the growing inflation problem in the United States, and he's highlighting that he's long gold, he's long Bitcoin, and he views these assets as inflation hedges. Let me play the clip for you.
Given all of the things you're saying, are you off buying gold and Bitcoin and
I think all roads lead to inflation. We're going to end up,
But does all roads lead to inflation, therefore gold is a good investment? Is Bitcoin a good investment to you?
I'm long gold. I'm long Bitcoin. I think commodities are so ridiculously underowned. So I'm long commodities. I think most young people find their inflation hedges via the NASDAQ. That's also been great. It's probably some combination. I probably have some basket of gold, Bitcoin, commodities, and NASDAQ, something like that. And I would own zero fixed income. If I had my cash, it'd be very short term. The playbook to get out of this, you see it in Japan right now. They have 2% inflation, 30 basis points overnight. They don't want to raise rates. The playbook to get out of this is that you inflate your way out.
So very big statements on Paul. And if this seems like deja vu or Groundhog's Day, remember back in 2020 when he came out and he put the bullish signal out that he's investing in Bitcoin, and then the other billionaire hedge fund folks started following, Bill Miller, Stan Druckenmiller, and so forth. So I view this as a signal. Paul doesn't go on TV very often. So the fact that he's coming out of the woodwork now is a signal. And once again, highlighting Bitcoin and crypto. So one of the things he mentioned was in order to fix the problems that we have right now, they're going to inflate their way out of it. So this goes back to quantitative easing. What have I been telling you guys? They got to keep printing, right? There will be a narrative. We talked about these banks in bad shape, the worst ever since 2008. And about 60 banks are on the Fed's watch list as ones that may be at risk. So I don't know if that's going to be the specific reason or catalyst, but it may be. But my point is, they'll come up with some narrative, but they have to go back to quantitative easing. They will keep printing money. They're cutting the rates. So in order to service the debt, they have to keep printing money to pay for all of this, right, guys? They continue to raise the debt ceiling. You know what's going on. This is the fiat money system. This is why we're investing in assets, crypto, real estate, stocks, and so forth, so we can outpace the debasement and the inflation that's taking place. Because if you just leave your money under the mattress or in your checking and savings account, there's no way it's going to be able to outpace what's happening, and you're getting next to nothing as far as interest, right? So this is why we want to put our money in assets. And as Paul said back in 2020, Bitcoin and crypto are the fastest horse in the race. So Paul is back at it. I view this as a signal. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but it's very interesting. Now, speaking of hedge funds, we got an article from the Financial News Network here out of London saying crypto hedge funds Nickel, Fasanara cash in on the Bitcoin rally. So the article highlights how these London-based crypto hedge funds are getting huge gains. They're leaving kind of TradFi assets and going to crypto. So I hope you guys see what's happening here. There's a paradigm shift taking place. So let me read a quick snippet of this article. London-based crypto hedge funds have extended their gains amid a jump in the price of Bitcoin and other digital assets. Nickel Digital Asset Management, a crypto hedge fund founded by former Goldman Sachs executive director Anatoly Krachalov, boy, I butchered his name, has gained 24.6% year to date, up from 21% in August, according to people familiar with the matter. Nickel Digital, which manages $200 million in assets, has gained 39% since September 2023 to people added. Fasanara Digital, the crypto arm of London-based $4 billion asset management firm Fasanara Capital, has gained 18.5% year to date, up from 17% in August. People familiar with the matter said the crypto hedge fund manages around $150 million in assets. So I share that to highlight the returns they're getting, which is really difficult to get in the TradFi markets. Again, going back to what Tudor Jones said, Bitcoin and crypto are the fastest horse in the race. Now, if this was the 90s, you wouldn't be able to access this asset class. You would have to be accredited. You would have to have connections to a hedge fund and private equity and so forth, right? And you couldn't participate. Now that whole investing model is more decentralized, where the tokens are in the open market and anyone can participate. You can be in any part of the world. You have a smartphone and internet connection, and you can buy a part of or a fraction of Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, whatever it is, and be part of the asset class, the same way a billionaire is taking a position. So that's what's unique about this asset class. And of course, many of these crypto assets are finite. They have a hard cap supply like Bitcoin. So there's a real supply and demand shock here and a truly global market, right? There's never been anything like this as global as this asset class. Some people will say, what about gold? Yeah, but gold, you don't know where the supply is and who has it, and you can't track the supply real time, and you can't move it real time as you can Bitcoin and these other assets. So that's the difference. So using on-chain metrics, I can track how much Bitcoin's moving, where is it going, which wallet address, and all that jazz, right? So this is what makes this technology and asset class really unique. Now, we got some very big news around the XRP Ledger, guys. This is a massive tokenization project. So this is from a press release today. Aurum Equity Partners launches a $1 billion tokenized equity and debt fund using Zonix, if I'm saying that right, and the XRP Ledger technology. Now, we've been seeing massive firms like BlackRock, Fidelity, Franklin Templeton, and so forth starting to tokenize funds. And BlackRock, I believe, has the largest right now. I think it's over $500 million. They're tokenizing on Ethereum. So Aurum Equity Partners, a leading private equity firm, has announced the launch of the world's first combined equity and debt tokenized $1 billion fund utilizing Zonix asset tokenization solutions. The initiative will leverage the XRP Ledger, an open source and decentralized layer 1 blockchain, to unlock new opportunities in real-world asset tokenization, also known as RWA, for data center investments. The initiative will establish global data centers across the United States, United Arab Emirates, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, India, and Europe, showcasing a significant real-world application of tokenization. Wow. Two major takeaways here. The tokenization market is growing significantly. We are seeing the biggest of the biggest players getting involved, and it's what I've been telling you guys for years. It's what I talk about in my book, Rethinking Crypto. We're headed to the token economy, everything running on the blockchain, real estate, gold, your fiat currency, obviously, as stable coins, cars, artwork, everything tokenized on the blockchain, 24/7 trading, global markets. You guys know the spiel. I've said it many times, right, to you guys, so I don't want to repeat myself over and over. And then second, the XRP Ledger being used here. This is a big vote of confidence, given that a lot of tokenization has been happening on Ethereum and some of these other smart contract platforms. But for it to happen on the XRP Ledger with this size, 1 billion, is pretty significant. So if you're an XRP holder, this is good news. So I will try to get these folks on the podcast to give you some details, because that $1 billion number is pretty big, guys. This is actually bigger than the valuation of BlackRock's tokenized fund. Now, don't get me wrong, BlackRock's fund continues to grow over time, but starting with 1 billion, pretty big. Now, guys, part of what's bullish for crypto is not just the macro, the charts and the cycles and the liquidity and so forth, but also crypto legislation is around the corner. Here, Politico is reporting, coming soon, the most pro-crypto Congress ever. I love it. Let me give you some details. A $160 million super PAC spending spree is set to give the industry an army of allies in the House and Senate and across party lines. And we've been talking about this. We've been tracking it for a long time. Crypto is the largest spender in this election. We have political candidates like Donald Trump and even RFK before he dropped out were campaigning on crypto. How times have changed, right? And even though you got a scumbag regulator like Gary Gensler, the SEC, the tide is changing, and many Democrats in the House and Senate are turning on Elizabeth Warren and Gary Gensler. And guys, that's very bullish. So I think we can expect crypto legislation to make it through the Senate, hopefully by the end of the year. I actually interviewed Congressman French Hill today, so I'll publish that interview tomorrow. He's optimistic we can get something out in the lame duck session. He says, though, even if that doesn't happen, come Q1 and Q2, they're going to get it done, right? There'll be a new Congress in place, new president, and so forth. And they got a lot of momentum because of the Fit 21 bill making it out of the House this year and Democrats joining Republicans. So, guys, I think this is one of the catalysts that will really supercharge this bull market. So let me give some details here. As many as 13 new pro-crypto candidates could ascend to seats in the House next year with the backing from the industry's network of super PACs, which have spent big to promote allies and block critics in races across the country. The potential House members range from progressive Democrats who tout digital assets as a tool for financial inclusion to Republicans who bash the Biden administration's crypto policy and say the technology can create economic freedom. And here, Eleanor Terra of Fox Business highlighted the following today going on in Ohio. Sherrod Brown, one of the generals in Elizabeth Warren's anti-crypto army, we need him to be kicked out in addition to Elizabeth Warren, right? John Deaton's running against Elizabeth Warren. Eleanor said the Ohio Senate race, a key battle the crypto industry has been watching closely, is heating up with just 2 weeks to go. Pro-crypto super PAC Defend American Jobs spent $40 million on ads to support the Republican candidate Bernie Moreno. And of course, they're running ads against Sherrod Brown. So Sherrod Brown, he's been super aligned with Elizabeth Warren. Once again, he's a general in that anti-crypto army. But we see a lot of the anti-crypto army folks are dropping like flies. People are backing out of bills with Elizabeth Warren. So it's really great to see that crypto is advancing. Now, Moreno, he is like about 1 point below Brown. He's at 46.7%. Brown is at 47.3%. So close, but no cigar, right? He needs to catch up and win, and let's see what happens. We got 2 weeks. But if you are in the state of Ohio, definitely check this out. What's happening here. Sherrod Brown, Elizabeth Warren, and her other cronies have gone after crypto unlawfully in many ways. And obviously Gensler is a big tool, but there was also Operation Choke Point 2.0 and other things that were happening. So, guys, I am optimistic, though, and from my conversation with Congressman French Hill, I think the pro-crypto and even neutral candidates on crypto are definitely now outweighing the anti-crypto folks. And that number was reversed. That ratio was reversed before, but we're making progress. So this is very, very bullish. Folks, be sure to check out our sponsor, VeChain, which is one of the top layer 1 smart contract blockchains out there. VeChain is an amazing platform that many companies and businesses are using to build Web3 technology and decentralized apps. Some of the great features of the blockchain includes it is secure, affordable, scalable, fast, and sustainable. Some of the companies working with VeChain include Givenchy, BMW, Walmart China, Boston Consulting Group, PwC, and much more. So if you'd like to learn more about VeChain, go to vchain.org. Link will be in the description. Now check this out, folks. The SEC lists crypto as an examination priority in 2025. Of course they did. This technology is here to stay. It's growing despite what Gensler has been doing. So let me give you the details. So the SEC, again, included cryptocurrencies in its list of examination priorities for the next year, even as its leadership and government control could change hands. In an October 21st notice, the SEC's Division of Examinations released its priorities for 2025, including crypto assets and their associated products and services. According to the regulator, it planned to focus on the offer, sale, and recommendation, advice, trading, and other activities involving crypto assets, explicitly naming spot Bitcoin and Ether exchange-traded products. Here's a quote. Given the volatility and activity involving the crypto asset markets, the division will continue to monitor and then conduct examinations of registrants offering crypto asset related services. And the SEC added the division will assess registrant practices to address the technological risk associated with the use of blockchain and distributed ledger technology, including risk pertaining to security of crypto assets. Now, guys, as always, I've said on the podcast, if there are bad actors in the crypto industry, we want the SEC to do their job, go after these people, weed them out, and kick them out, right? We saw scams like BitConnect, SafeMoon, and different stuff, right? There are scammers in this industry, but there's scammers in every industry. There's bad actors in society who try to take advantage of people, and it could be in crypto, it could be in TradFi, it could be in stocks, whatever. In real estate, right? Come on, this is life. But what we've seen, what we are against here is the political motivation and Gary Gensler unlawfully going after good actors. And notice he's let a lot of crypto scams go on for years, and he was targeting Ripple and Coinbase and so forth, right? Trying to take down these actors who tried to come in and talk to the SEC, tried to do things the right way, because his goal, and I believe a mandate that was given to him by the TradFi incumbents, was to roadblock the hell out of these crypto companies, kill them if possible, not kill crypto or blockchain. Definitely not that. Because, as I've stated many times, look at the two things that are happening in parallel. BlackRock and Wall Street's here, tokenizing, launching ETFs. So why is that okay? But what Coinbase is doing is wrong. What Ripple is doing is wrong, right? You see the dichotomy here, and it just doesn't add up. So Gensler is a scumbag regulator, like I said, and we want someone who is a neutral party, who is pro-America and wants to help get clarity in the United States so wealth can be grown, jobs can be created, and much more. So this is what's been going on. We need Gensler out of there for sure. Now, guys, as the stablecoin market heats up and stablecoin legislation is around the corner in the United States, it's already been passed in the EU. Tether took a big hit in the EU. Well, here's a report. Tether is doubling down on communication and transparency, CEO Paolo Ardoino says, and I probably butchered his name. I've had him on the podcast. I'll try to get him on, by the way. So he was speaking at the DC FinTech Week on Tuesday, and he said they're going to double down on communication transparency. Tether has faced scrutiny over the years over its stablecoin USDT, which is pegged to the US dollar. Tether says it is working with global regulators. Now, there's people who have been spreading FUD about Tether and so forth. I believe Tether in the early days was not running the ship well. And Paolo even admitted this in my interview with him. And they've since then cleaned up their act. Were they fully 100% reserved back in the day? I don't think so. I think they are now. And I think they will get whatever aspect of their business is lacking in order. They're the largest stablecoin in the world. They've had incredible success. And I'm just talking to you guys about what I know. I don't have a dog in the fight. I don't have a hidden agenda. So I'm calling it neutral like I've seen it. And like I said, Tether, I think they were not doing things right back in the day, but I think they are now. And I see firms like Cantor Fitzgerald who are reviewing their reserves and auditing them and so forth, giving the green light. So these are just the facts, not my feelings or emotions. So I think Tether's going to get their house and whatever parts of it in order and cleaned up, and they're going to be okay. But I think they will lose market share. I think they're going to remain in the top spot for a while, though, because they've had a first mover advantage and have been pretty dominant globally. So USDC, getting market penetration in different countries will take some market share. Ripple's RLUSD, when that's launched, I think will take some market share, but right now, Tether is still king of the hill. So we'll see how this war plays out. But this is what we want, competition. Competition's healthy for the market, and it's good for us as users and consumers. It's good to have different options versus having just a monopoly ruling the market. Now, guys, going back to the topic of the token economy, I've told you guys everything on the blockchain, right? And I've often interviewed different folks on the podcast about blockchain voting and campaign finance and all these things on the blockchain. Well, check this out. Buenos Aires rolls out blockchain-based ID for 3.6 million residents. Wow. Residents of the Argentine capital now have access to decentralized digital IDs on their mobile devices powered by the scaling protocol ZK Sync Era. So, folks, whether we like it or not, this is coming. Now, in the United States, we have at least the U.S. Constitution. We'll see how things pan out in Congress. I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing. The problem is it puts the potential for bad things to happen because you have a draconian leader who comes in and they abuse the system, right? That's my concern. And that's what many people are concerned about with CBDCs. It's not that CBDCs, the technology is inherently bad. It's that it can be used for bad stuff and easily used for bad stuff, right? So that's where the concern is. But I think in the digital world that we live in, and the next generation growing up in a digital world, they will be more open to this versus some of us who were born before the internet, lived lives before the internet. I'm a millennial. I was born in 1983. So I know what it's like to live without the internet and just be in the real world right now, not on social media and so forth. This I think will be rolled out to the entire world, and it's going to be interesting which blockchains are used. So you may say, what the hell is ZK Sync Era? Well, it's an Ethereum scaling protocol that uses zero knowledge rollups. So there's some privacy here because of the zero knowledge proof aspect of it. So very interesting. So let me give you some more details. Since October 1st, more than 3.6 million active users of MIBA, M-I-B-A, have received decentralized digital identities secured by Quark ID, a digital identity protocol built by Web3 firm Xtremian. So this is the first time I've heard about this. And here's a quote from the Buenos Aires government. By giving 3.6 million residents greater control over their personal data, the city is setting a new standard in privacy and security for digital identity management. Once again, I think a lot of benefits. Just you hope the governments do it right and there's no back doors. And this is where the challenge comes in, because you won't necessarily know that unless somebody comes out from the government and tells you, or there's a whistleblower. So this is where we have to be vigilant and make sure that if they do put this stuff together, regardless of which country you're listening in, and I know I have listeners and viewers from globally, what are the details? The devil's in the details, right? And is there something that could be compromised eventually with a draconian government and so forth? These are things we have to pay attention to and hold our governments accountable. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about this. We'll love to get your thoughts on these topics. A lot of very bullish and big news. And guys, a great way you can support me in the podcast. If you appreciate the content, sign up for my free email newsletter, 100% free on Substack. In addition, grab a copy of my book, Rethinking Crypto. It's available on Amazon in paperback and digital. Buy a copy for yourself. Buy a few copies for your friends and family. Give them as gifts this holiday so they can learn about this crypto asset class as we head into the further into the bull market and prices start going up. They need to know what the hell this is and how to approach it, right? The book talks about that. And if you bought a copy already, please leave a 5-star rating and review. It will really help me out. Thank you guys. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.